This is a look inside the book, Male, Female, or None of the Above by I.W. Gregory. This book is about a girl and discovering that she's intersex. It starts off with her and her friend talking about hiding birth control. And then it goes into her and her boyfriend. He says, he reaches beneath my underwear. Abruptly, his hand stopped. Holy shit, did you go to Brazil? Yeah, I lied. It had bothered me for years that I had never grown hair down there. But when my teammates noticed it, I'd always just pretended that I'd gotten waxed. Sam grinned his GQ grin and leaned in for another kiss. So then they're having sex in a limo, or starting to. He says, are you sure? Sam whispered. I nodded, afraid that if I spoke, my voice would shake. Sam untangled himself to get a condom, and when he turned back, the feel of him on top of me was headier than any champagne. And they are in high school, so this is underage drinking. And then, oh my God, the pain. It felt like someone had taken an electric drill to my insides. I gritted my teeth and I tried to power past it, but it was too much. Sam shifted, trying to go deeper, and I whimpered. His weight lifted. Are you okay? I nodded, and I tried to blink away the tears. I was an athlete. I was going to push through the pain. Yeah, just give me a minute. So he says, I'm so sorry. He broke off. I froze, wondering how many other girls Sam had done it with. He must have felt me shrink away because he got up and he sat up on the seat, pulling the coat over his crotch. It's okay, I whispered. And it says they'll just keep trying. So it ends up, she goes to a doctor. The doctor says you have an unique syndrome that causes an intersex state where a person looks outwardly like a female but has some of the internal characteristics of a male. So they're diagnosing her as a hermaphrodite. They go to a party. He says, no cum in the tub. This is a 5-bedroom house. So have sex in a bedroom, not in the tub. Now this is where they try again. So he says, he's trying to be gentle. She's trying to breathe through it. I kept my hips still, afraid to move, and for a minute things worked. I almost laughed out loud with relief. I was having sex with a boy. And he was warm, and he thought I was sexy. And when I laughed, he didn't notice that my body was a lemon. I started moving my hips, sliding my hand through the light hairs in his back. I could feel his glutes tighten as he moved. And when I reached down to touch them, they were so delicious that I pulled him against me. Mistake. I closed my eyes with pain, but managed to stay quiet. When my fingers clenched, Sam must have thought it was because I was so into things, because he went faster. I gritted my teeth and turned my head. Just before I couldn't take it anymore. Sam shuddered and collapsed on the bed next to me. I turned my head away to wipe my tears on the pillow, and when I turned back to Sam, his eyes were still closed. Oh, baby, he said, still catching his breath. Oh, baby. So she is trying to reconcile what's going on with her. There is some bullying. There's a suicide attempt. She teeters on the side of the road. She steps into oncoming traffic and looking to the left, saw a car approaching. I was vaguely aware that it was far enough away that I would be able to cross if I sprinted, but my limbs felt leadened, as if I were sleepwalking. The other side of the road seemed very far away, and I heard screeching of tires, a wordless shout, and then something hit me from behind. So someone pushes her out of the way. She does have a good support system that's trying to help her cope with everything. She does have a gonadectomy. So she opts to take her gonads out, and then she's going to have to take hormones. And they talk about trans sports because she's a runner, so they want to know if she's going to be able to keep a scholarship. They talk about Caster Semenya and talk a lot about that. This is a little different. I think Caster identifies as intersex, but the debate is he does have, or she, I don't know, has XY chromosomes, elevated testosterone. The runner married a woman, and somehow they have 2 children together. So there's controversy of whether the person is actually intersex or don't know, pretending. There is a little controversy here. All 3 medalists in 2016, they were all intersex. So it is a controversy of what should be allowed in women's sports or not. And the rest of it is more about intersex in sports. So I looked up the stats, and it's something like 0.018% of the population has some version of intersex. Do you think this is a good resource? Do you think the amount of sexual content was necessary? And is it appropriate for high schoolers? And should it be assigned to students? Leave your comments below.